Marty. So this was your game against Terry. So I was thinking of last week, right? And last week you had such a perfect run, right? I think you beat like your 5Q opponent, your 6Q opponent, your 11Q opponent. I think you beat Q, and so you were
Yep.
like, dominating last week. And then this week you submitted me your two games and you lost both of them.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that from what you've been telling me from the past review we just did and now, is that you keep learning new things, and so you keep trying new things, which is the growing pains, right? Because that's what's making you kind of lose, right? You're trying new things, but you already know how it goes. You learn something, it takes a while to actually learn it, use it right, and then you become better, right? So I don't know if you were discouraged this week or not, but it's funny
You
to.
know, I mean, well, of course, I'd love to beat Terry, but you know, I like Terry, so it's fine.
All right, that's good. I do find it fun to see you like win a full week and then like you lose a full week, and then the winning and losing streaks, they always come back and forward, so it's kind of fun to see. All right. So first let's just go through the beginning. And so far everything's fairly normal. To me, we've discussed why I don't like this move.
Yeah,
I learned it from. I hope I don't misspell his name, but Jeremy Dongley. Dongley.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's a 7 dan, amateur. Uh, he would tell me that you don't use this move if you don't have like a stone here and here, right? And it's because this is really far apart, right? And so
Right,
it's not going to make a lot of points. Even if white gets an extension over here, it still doesn't feel like it's going to make too much because it's too open and flat, right? This is flat. White and black can always play here, and so on and so forth. So to me, I just don't like this move that much unless you have it set up. So in this case, I guess I'm just letting Terry know more than anything. But instead, Jeremy just told me to patiently play here and wait for your opportunity later, or you can tanuki, right? You can tanuki now and play somewhere else.
right.
But he told me just to relax on this move because I would do this move often. So now you do it, which
Yeah,
is kind of, it's funny to see both the exchanges. But at least in your case, yours is far better than hers because you already have a stone here, right?
right,
And so,
right.
and that's the difference. She has an opposing stone on this side,
Yes,
so
yes.
yours is at least better. But still, I point out here that it might have been, at least from
Better
my,
to go low. Yeah,
yeah, from
yeah,
my training from Jeremy,
yeah,
he
yeah,
says this is just less complicated, right? And so,
yeah, yeah,
and then also you could have tanuki'd and played here too, which is nice, or here, because
yeah.
essentially you're building a nice territory this way, and you're building a nice territory this way. Um, so yeah, so at this point, this was the first like minor mistake here, I'd say, um, which is you're just, I don't think you're asking for a lot. You should ask for more in this case, especially now that you've built this up, right? And so you should work on
Okay.
trying to get this closer, right? And to make more
Yeah, yeah,
territory.
yeah.
Same with something like this or this, right? We can see that it's helping both sides. This
Yeah.
one is not. I think it's. I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just not asking for more. So I think this would have been better. And I
Yeah.
think I know where you're coming from, right? Like I think you're trying to prevent this move, right?
Yeah, because Terry loves the 3-3 invasion.
Yeah, yeah. So you were playing your opponent specifically, which is kind of interesting. That you've gotten to that point where you kind of know her style, but still, yeah, I'd ask for more. So
Okay.
even something like this would have been really nice, or here, or here, or
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
And as you said,
Agree with
Terry
that.
loves the 3-3. So I think either side you could have blocked. I think that's fine either way. Okay, this was very good. We've talked a lot about abandoning this movement because normally with the golden attachment rule, we don't like two weaknesses, and so we move on. But if we did, we would give white Sente, and so we make this wall look really dumb, right?
Yes. So again, Michael Redman.
Yeah, yeah. So this Tanuki was very good here. Um, so now you ended up expanding your stones, which is good. White attacked on this side. So you have two directions to push on. This would be more for getting points, and this I think would be more for the safety of your stones. I think this would have been the better direction out of the two.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, this is still really good. So I didn't mark it clearly. So when I was reviewing this, I didn't mind either way, I guess. Um, but I think looking at it just now, these stones have some weakness. Even
Well,
though they have some strength, they also have some weakness about them, right?
yep.
Because white can, play here later.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this would be pretty painful against these stones.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe that's why I prefer this checking extension. Because even now, if we do something like this, black is still
I
benefiting
guess
quite a
what,
lot.
yeah, I guess the cornerstones have, I was sort of thought I was making a base, but I guess it has a base on the other side unless, if I want.
Yeah, yeah. So this one is very territorial, which is good for points. And I still think you're fine because this is pretty stuffed. And black is fairly strong on both sides. This one has some weakness potential, but it's still strong right now. Um, but here was the point where this was just too small and slow, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you
Well, yeah,
remember?
even in the game, as soon as I made that move, I thought I should have played the knight's move on top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This would be more aggressive. Because if white plays something like this, you can come back and you just got a little bit more, right? You still
Yeah.
got the diagonal, but you got a little more. You could even
Yeah.
come this way, but this does leave white good shape. Um, but yeah, this would have been better than this one.
Yeah.
Looking at it, some of the best moves was this here. Because
Oh,
once you're threatening to cut white apart, if white doesn't answer, then this actually still makes white very weak, right? And so black's doing very well. And if white does answer, then you can get this on top move. And so now what does white do, right? Does white try to exploit this weakness? That's okay if white does. You can give up this one stone and allow white to be manipulated, and you can see black has gotten out much farther, right? So
yes. So this is like a middle game.
Koseki, yeah. It's these
Yeah.
when there's a two space and you
And you
have
have stones on both sides.
yeah, even if there was only moves on one side, this still works um to help expand this moyo more or this area
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Um but yeah, so this was one of the better options compared to this, right? This is better than this, but this is ultimately better because you get two moves. Same attachment on top, but you get an extra
Right.
move.
Yeah.
And then finally, the computer really liked this move because you can see this is starting to become in big trouble. Plus, you're expanding your territory safety more.
Yeah.
Because if white was to like Tanuki now, this is kind of devastating against these stones. These stones look silly, right? When black's here.
Right.
And
Right.
so this is really strong. I think this was the computer's highest recommendation, and this was one of the green moves that I also just really enjoyed. So yeah, that was it for now.
Oh yeah.
So this looked all fine to me actually. This I would have worried about, but you're okay. It was this decision that was wrong though, because white doesn't have the ladder. Because once you play here, this Atari works, and so now you can just kill this stone.
Wait, white.
White
Oh
doesn't
yes,
have
I
the
remember
ladder.
this, Michael. I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this in the game.
yeah,
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes.
So you played a ladder breaker move, but you didn't.
I didn't need it.
Yeah, you didn't need it, and so now white's perfect has fixed all its problems, and
Yes,
so white
yes,
now has safety here as well, and so white
yes,
got
yes,
really good
yes.
exchanges.
Yeah, yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, once you got this, you can see white would be in a lot of trouble everywhere. So this would have been a different game.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
well.
all these exchanges were great for black. So this $1,000 turn was really nice. I will say that for sure. And
Too low.
I was thinking that you could play here to take
Yeah,
this, and
yeah.
then even if white comes in, you can now split apart white because A and B are both very weak. And so this would be kind of a nice exchange for you. But I guess looking at it, I still think this is okay. But I guess hitting the head of two stones is just calling me, right? Like this shape point
Yeah,
really wants me to hit it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's so many good moves after the follow up of this. Like later on, you could get something like this, and so on and so forth. Even if you just do a low move like this is pretty harsh on white and good for
Right.
black. Right, this is good for black.
Yeah.
Um, but this is fine. As you can see, white had to come back here. So
Yeah.
even now, you could have played a move to try and split these
Mm-hmm.
two up.
Yeah.
Because this is very weak, and so making a weak group next to a weak group is never good for Terry in this case. So
Yeah.
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 Um, so the looking now, there's two important points. One is this move because technically you have the ladder, right?
Yes.
You'd go to your stones.
Yeah.
So this knight's cut would have been really nice here. The other way is protecting this because
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
white
Yeah.
takes these two stones, it's
Yeah.
devastating for these. They
Yeah.
get completely uprooted.
Yeah. I never knew when to come back and play that.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely an itch in the brain. So let's just keep going. I did mark this stone. Let's see.
Too
It's too
slow.
slow. Okay, yeah. So, right now in the game, there's so many things you could be doing, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so this move looks really, really slow to me. It doesn't even put pressure on white, so white can just do whatever white wants next,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that should have been it.
yeah. So this looks really silly.
Yeah.
Any reason why you think you played it? Were you worried about maybe these cuts or something, or you wanted
Yeah.
to
Probably.
break the tiger's mouth?
Probably the cuts, but I don't even know, Michael. I can't remember why I played that.
Yeah, because the last move was here, which you can see affords you this, right? Because if
Yep.
white Tanukis now, you'd be able to do quite a lot of damage
Yeah.
here against white.
Yeah.
And so white should answer. So this is a running battle, Sente move. This is where white played last, so it's like your eyes should be on it at least, right?
Yeah.
And so you could play this for free and then come back for this.
I may have just fallen asleep at the board.
It does happen, right, when you lose your focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, this move looks silly to me. And I don't usually see you make these moves, right? Usually I don't talk
Yeah.
about too slow of moves with you,
Yeah.
so it was very weird to see it.
Yeah.
This was obviously devastating
Yeah.
because now you just look silly. You look like
Yeah.
almost a big empty triangle, almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
same with this is just a minor thing here, but this move threatens to kill these stones.
Yeah.
This move doesn't threaten anything, so
Yeah.
it's just out of the two exchanges, this would have been nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You did play it, but once again, now it just feels like you played really slow, and
Yeah.
it's focusing more on. You should be focusing more on the outside than the inside, anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we change this move altogether and like played something like this would
Yeah.
this would have been more
Yeah.
beneficial. The only reason
Yeah.
I like this move is because it's Sente. But yeah. And now also you chose from A to B, right? Choosing again to go on the inside than the outside.
Yeah.
So when you look at this is a very small amount of points here.
Mhm.
And there's not much to gain here, right? Because white's already made you small.
Yeah.
And so this move isn't worth a lot of points, so it would have been more appropriate to put pressure on white here, right?
Yeah. I just assumed it was Sente. Maybe it didn't even turn out that way.
Yeah, no, this would be going for this outside would be
Yeah.
much more valuable than going for this
Yes.
inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't Sente because it doesn't hurt anything, right? There's no pain here.
Yeah.
So just very similar to this move, it was very slow.
Yeah.
And then similar to this move too. So at some point your whole like you were doing great, right? And then all of a sudden your mind shifted and you reverted back to some bad habits or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This was good. This was really good. And this was great. This double Hane was completely correct. So now we see that there's a weakness here. And
Yeah.
then when she Ataris, there's a weakness here. And so this is the perfect time to use the double Hane. This is the correct time to use it. Unlike what happened in our game.
Great. Great.
So very good job playing the double Hane. And good job taking this. The problem was, I think the ladder doesn't work here. So you needed to play this instead.
Yeah.
And this is still a problem for white, right? If white's going to have to run out, you're still doing really well here.
Yes. Yes.
So it would have been better to play this. But once you played this and the ladder didn't work,
And then Terry played the ladder breaker anyway.
yeah, I think she must have had a brain fart too, because she could have just played out this ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, you should have just took. When you don't take, it leaves all this Aji, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can just take, and it's better. So that's
Okay.
just a very small, like, little thing there. And that was mainly it. This was the shorter review. Usually when
Yeah.
I do 2 reviews, I focus more directly on like certain things on the second review. But all in all, I think you lost this game. I don't remember how much, but
20 points. It was big.
no, 11. It wasn't that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't as bad as you think. Still, black got a lot here, right? But white also got an opposing lot, right? And so
Yeah. I mean, it looks, it's sort of like mirrors, but my other parts are smaller. I mean, really, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
yeah, so some of the most important stuff. We'll just take a quick look.
Yeah. So that the 3-3 move, not good.
Yeah, so this was just a little slow.
Yeah. So there were slow moves, Michael.
Yeah, I think that's essentially what just capped and put you down on this game. Same with this, right? You know that
Yeah.
this is really slow and small.
Yeah. That as soon as I clicked that, I said, "Oh, that's not right."
Right. This was, just a strange misreading.
Yeah.
This one is much more harder, I think, to see. In essence, like seeing this cut is probably pretty difficult. But always remember that you should read knight's moves and because they're cuttable. So
Yeah.
always keep that in mind. The other thing is, this area
Yeah.
becomes really bad if white gets this move, right?
Yeah.
And so that's
Yeah.
why that
Yes.
was that.
Yeah.
Because this move is good. This $1,000 turn against these 2 stones is great, actually. but the timing of it, these would have been better moves.
Yeah,
And then this, like not taking your sente here was like shocking to me, and playing something this slow looked like
I see. Yeah,
just out of
yeah,
character for you.
yeah.
Um,
Huh.
I mean, I can see why you played this, but this is also really slow.
Right, right.
Um, this was really slow. It puts no pressure on white whatsoever, and it's just not a lot. Whereas this puts lots of pressure on white, right? Lots of pressure, 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 pressure,
Yeah,
and you're just gaining lots of points. Right?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Ugh.
it's all right,
Ugh.
Marty. I mean, sometimes we have these bad games. I'm in the same boat all the time. But it was strange to see these, just because you usually don't make these mistakes. So very strange, but interesting game. Any questions or areas you want me to recap
No,
again?
I think I'm ready.